in another video just to kind of go short, quick to it, is that when you're doing the measurements between screen to screen, screen to screen, and I know this corner and this curve is going to throw you off, but if you have a laser, you can try it with a measuring tape, anything like that. I went in store also and was able to do this. It's actually kind of disappointing because it just looks like it's larger, right? But it's only the body of it. It's not the screen, right? So the dimensions, if you look at this, it's the frame, and then you see the black bar here, and you can tell the black bar here on this side is sometimes even double, and also the frame is just thicker, as you can tell, but just the screen. So since it's cornered here and this is curved, we'll have to go to the center here. And from this point where you can see the light to this light display to the others, from this point up, and the same thing, and how you said this was narrow, it's the same size. So this entire screen, except for the curve, obviously, and the corner here, from this point here all the way down, it's actually the same size. And you'll say it's narrower. Well, yeah, it's actually the same size though. And what makes it larger, the dimensions, it's only because, as you can tell, the black frame, the bezel is larger, double, and then the frame here is what you can tell here is a lot thicker also. So that's the only thing. But if we could take that off and we could just do a printout of just the screens and cut off these corners, it's actually the same. And you can kind of tell here, because you can tell that the screen comes off right here, and you can clearly tell here. And then if we were able to measure this out, as you can tell, now this is higher up here, but obviously this one's lower. So if we brought it up a little bit, it's actually the same exact size, and it's kind of hard to tell just because of the corners. But if we were able to cut those corners off and just take the screen itself, not the bezel, not the frame, it's actually the same size. So this is narrow, and this is actually the same size, and you won't be able to tell, because you have to. I mean, I had to take 3 measurements, and construction is something that I do also. So it's a lot to it. Also, on film, that one thing that Shane Craig does is also he doesn't measure it correctly, because if you look, it's not just a 3-dimensional, but you have to go into 4-dimensional, is at the distance of it. So the Fold 7 is actually 2 millimeters further back. So if I took my 2 fingers and I try to tap on the screens here, it would be actually closer to touch this screen than I would tap this screen. Now, just by a millimeter, so you wouldn't even be able to tell. Not even like, I wouldn't even be able to, maybe a wrinkle on your finger, or even thinner than that, a hair, right? So it would be a hair, and you might say, well, that, how can you tell? Well, if I put two fingers up here, and which one's closer, right? You can't tell. But if I move the camera around, now you can tell this one's a lot closer than it looked. But see, now when I move it back, see that? And when we're talking about 3D and 4D, you would have to measure everything, right? So the table that it's on, is it lined up correctly? Would have to be measured out. The distance, and obviously, this is I think 2 millimeters thinner. So when it's laying down on the table and you have this kind of bird's eye view, this one's actually further back than this one. And you might say, oh, well, it's just a millimeter, 2 millimeters. Well, just like I said on the camera, which finger's closer? And if you didn't know, it's this finger. And when I change the angle of it, you can tell this one's further back. And so when we kind of go back at it, now you can tell, and it seems, oh, well, this one looks closer, but it's actually that 3 and 4 dimensional viewing, and it's not bigger, it's just closer.